I'm Dylan Hildebrand from Selene Americas. I'm one of the technical directors, or the technical director, and we're on a pretty special boat today with Mark and Roseanne. We're in Ladysmith Harbor, and they're sitting at my dock, thankfully, which is pretty nice of friends to come this far. And we're going to have a chat about the boat and about wing stations today. So, Mark, why don't you tell us a little about your boat, where you've taken it, how far you've been with this boat?
Well, as Dylan said, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Roseanne. This is Selene 60 number 20 that we bought in 2008. It's actually our second Selene. We had a Selene 50 for about 5 years that we loved. Loved it so much, Howard sent me the drawings for this design when he was just starting it, and I immediately fell in love with it. So we took delivery in 2008. We've put about 23,000 miles on her over, what is that, 16 years? Loved the boat. Pretty much northwest up as far out as the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska, up and down along the northwest. So, and lots of cruising with friends. We named the boat Koinonia because it's a Greek word that means fellowship or friendship, and that's what the boat is to us. So we usually have neighbors or friends, or just actually this week had my daughter and son-in-law with their smaller boat, buddy boating on the San Juans, and our grandkids. Yep, I'm starting the grandkids out right.
So when Mark and Roseanne showed up at the dock, kind of the reason we thought we'd talk about stations, control stations for the boat, is they were very quiet. There was almost no talking. They just came up to the dock, tied up, no drama at all, which is nice to see. But this boat's unique because it actually has wing stations on the Portuguese bridge. So we thought we'd have a look at those a little later in the video and sort of talk about the advantages of those and the different stations and how they relate to how you use the boat.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the wing stations. I can show you those, but just for visibility's sake.
Yeah, so Mark, so the boat has stations on the flybridge station.
Yeah, typical station in the pilot house and up on the flybridge, and then wing stations on each corner of the Portuguese bridge.
So we're on this starboard side wing station here. So if you can have a look, you can see we get some pretty amazing visibility because we're so far out. As Mark looks down, he can see the whole side of the boat for docking.
So the boat all the way aft, which just really helps with maneuvering the boat because nobody has to tell me how far I am from the dock. I can just see.
The other thing it helps with a lot is going to be communication, because you see a lot of people using headsets, and that's great, but in a case like this, most of the time you just don't need them because you don't need a headset to talk 15 feet. So, you guys are so close to each other that it just cuts down a lot of the confusion of docking.
Yep.
So what have you got here? You've got,
well, obviously the twin disc throttle transmission, thruster controls for port and starboard, and then this is just a rudder jog lever. So basically, it shoves the rudder left or right. It's not an absolute position. They do now have a follow lever as well that you can put on. It wasn't available at the time I did this. And so what I have here is just a little multifunction instrument that shows me rudder position and depth, the two things that I most care about when I'm coming close to the dock. I did add this little defeat switch after coming out of the mouth of our harbor one day with some guests and a woman leaning on the thruster, and suddenly the bow is turning right, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I just added a little defeat switch to make sure that when guests are aboard, I can make sure that the controls aren't active. So
that totally makes sense. Let's have a look at the other controls in the boat and just get an idea of the sight lines from there and just why this is such a great idea. So Paul's got the camera now roughly where his head would be. So this is the view you get from the wing station down on the dock. So this is a really unobstructed docking view.
So primary pilot house controls are here, normal position, that kind of thing. This is where I operate the boat most of the time, but it just doesn't have great visibility for coming against the dock. I just really can't tell how close I am to a dock that's 10 feet below the gunnel there.